And what should you do when your clothing catches fire? And how to put out an oil fire? And why I specifically say that to put out an oil fire? Because oil fires are very difficult to put out. And a lot of people put out oil fire with wrong ways, and it can make it more difficult, and it will be more dangerous than you try not to put out it. Because when you put out the oil fire in the wrong way, it will spread. And you might burn yourself when you try to put out with the wrong way. And also, I'll talk about the modern home fire risk. So first, let's see a video made by NFPA, means National Fire Protection Association. This is an association that is in the United States, and is a very prestigious organization in the United States for fire safety. And they make this video 30 years ago. And the information inside is still correct. So I want to share with you. And some of the information has already been taught yesterday. So it might look easier for you, but there are still some information that was not said before. So I will play this video.
You are about to see a fire, one that has been planned, a demonstration fire. An ashtray with a still smoldering cigarette is dumped into the wastebasket. 2 minutes, 8 seconds. The contents of the wastebasket are smoldering. 7 minutes, 3 seconds. The wastebasket is in flames. 9 minutes, 14 seconds. The room is an inferno. You are about to experience the power of fire.
No one likes to think that fire might destroy his home or his family. Yet each year, fire claims more than 5,000 lives and causes nearly 3 billion in damage to homes. In the next few minutes, you're going to see exactly what happens when this home is involved in a fire. You'll see how rapidly this unflaring and deadly smoke can be, the tremendous impact of fire. And you'll grow to understand the role smoke detectors and sprinkler systems can play in saving your life and your family. But most important, you'll see what action you can take to survive a fire in your own home.
The majority of fire deaths occur at home. The home in our demonstration is a 2-story frame dwelling.
Our fire begins here in the living room where most home fires start. Let's take a look around. This is a typical family room. Comfortable couch, easy chair, books and magazines, and of course the wastebasket, the source of our fire. Through this doorway, just a few feet away, is the kitchen. During the fire, this door will be closed. Next to the living room and kitchen, the dining room, the setting for family get-togethers and gatherings. The front hallway, sort of a catch-all for a busy family, and the only direct exit for someone who may be upstairs. Let's see what we have on the second floor. This is the upstairs hallway. Here's the master bedroom. It's a pleasant room with the usual collection of sentimental items and valuables like this jewelry box. During the fire, the door to the master bedroom will be closed. And over here is a guest room. It's also comfortably furnished. This room is directly above the living room, where our fire begins. This is the children's bedroom. Bunk beds, chest, table, clothes, and toys everywhere. Only one thing distinguishes this house from your home. We've installed test instruments. And as the fire progresses, they're going to measure exactly what's happening with air quality and temperature. Now we're ready to see just what firepower can do to a home. A carelessly discarded cigarette is the cause of this fire. It can start many ways. Space heaters, wood stoves, faulty electrical equipment, and cooking, among others. In most fires, there is a longer period of time from the appearance of smoke to actual flames. Remember, what you will see and hear was filmed as it actually happened. Seconds from the first flame, the sofa ignites. From this point, fire grows rapidly. If you discover a fire, leave immediately and call the fire department from a neighbor's house. Seconds from first flame. Polyurethane cushioning from the couch starts to melt, spreading fire to the rug. Smoke begins to fill the room. 1 minute, 23 seconds. The stairway to upstairs still clear. Things look safe here in the kids' room, but downstairs the fire continues to accelerate. One minute, 35 seconds. The smoke layer in the living room descends rapidly. Gases flowing out of this room now exceed 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Light smoke begins to move to the second floor. 1 minute, 50 seconds. The smoke detector at the foot of the stairs sounds an alarm, providing warning before exits are blocked. Take action immediately. Crawl low where the air is cleaner. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. The temperature of the couch is now 400 degrees Fahrenheit. That's over 200 degrees Celsius. Above the floor. Thick black smoke moves rapidly upstairs. 3 minutes, 3 seconds. Melted polyurethane burns under the couch. Suddenly the lampshade ignites. The temperature 3 feet above the floor in this room is over 500 degrees Fahrenheit. No one could survive. 3 minutes, 20 seconds. The upstairs hall is beginning to fill with black acrid smoke, making escape more difficult. From the outside, there may be no evidence of the inferno inside.
1 seconds. The energy in the room suddenly ignites everything. Within 1 minute, the temperature has risen to over 1400 degrees. Flashover. The living room windows break out. The entire room fills with flames, forcing huge amounts of smoke and toxic gases throughout the house. Only 2 minutes after the smoke detector sounded, the lower hallway is dark and filled with smoke. The upstairs hall and stairs now impassable. A second escape route is your only way out. 4 minutes, 33 seconds. Only now are flames visible from outside the house. If this fire occurred at night when most fatal fires happen, this would be the first exterior evidence of fire in progress. Flames climb up the outside of the house, entering the guest room window. Fire grows so fast that the fire department may not be able to rescue anyone trapped inside. Firefighters wearing protective clothing enter to search the house and to combat the fire. They begin to control the fire, causing steam to pour out of the first floor. Reaching the second floor, firefighters break windows to release heat and then smoke.
About here. This film is made 30 years ago, so they break windows. It's wrong. It's wrong now. Okay.
They open walls to check for fire spread. Not all fires behave like this one. Some will move slower, some faster. But if a fire starts in your home, get out immediately and stay out. You have just seen the power of an uncontrolled fire. Would you recognize this? It's the living room. There's not even a faint reminder of the comfortable room we saw earlier. Nothing identifiable but the coils from this chair. It took just 4 minutes from the first flame in the wastebasket for the temperature in this room to reach over 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. The fire ultimately became so hot, the window glass softened and flowed like taffy. The kitchen door, which we closed, initially acted as a barrier to the flames, but it was no match for the power of fire. Eventually, the flames burned through the top of the door, rolled across the kitchen ceiling, spread smoke and deadly gases, hindering firefighters in their attack from the back entrance. Here, the remains of the dining room, nearly everything destroyed. Only a few items remain intact, such as the china in this cupboard. In the front hallway, flames also rolled along the ceiling, charring the upper portions of the room and the banister. Closer to the floor, there was less flame. But the smoke and intense heat still did a great deal of damage. Remember this? The telephone? And this? The big wheel. And here's the smoke detector that sounded our first alarm. Meeting no opposition, smoke, heat, and fire gases traveled to the second floor, searing and blistering everything within 6 minutes, cutting off the stairway as the family's main exit. Although flames never reached this upstairs hallway, it became hot enough to melt these plastic items.
So
The bathroom, more smoke.
flame never reached second floor, but you can see that the smoke is already hot enough to melt
Heat
plastic.
damage.
The children's room was directly in the path of the heat and the smoke. Look at the blistering on the bunk bed and these melted toys. Just 5 minutes after the first flame, a few breaths in this room would have been lethal. Just 5 minutes. In the guest room, flames from the living room came in through the windows and up through the walls. In their efforts to control the fire, firefighters had to rip down much of the paneling. Everything upstairs, damaged or destroyed. Well, almost everything. In this particular fire, this closed door is all it took to ward off smoke and hot gases from the master bedroom. While the temperature in the upstairs hallway was over 300 degrees, the temperature in this room never went over 77 degrees. The closed door gave the advantage of time to try a second way out with permanent safety. Sessions are worth your life. You have just experienced the damage that fire can do to a home, and you've seen smoke detectors, closed doors, and escape plans can lessen the danger to you and your family. Are there other measures we can take to lessen the danger and damage? There are. Let's turn back the clock. This is part of a residential sprinkler system, a device designed to spray water during the early stages of fire development. Has been started in this room. Sprinkler systems have long been used very successfully in commercial buildings. Damage and save lives. They have now been adapted for home use. In a typical residential sprinkler installation, sprinklers would be placed throughout the house. Triggered by heat, only those located near the fire would discharge water. As before, the fire grows rapidly. Smoke fills the room from the ceiling down. Only 2 minutes 11 seconds from first flame, the sprinkler controls the fire before conditions in the house become life-threatening. Of course, the room is very wet, but the sprinkler has confined the fire's damage to one small area. And so, for less than the cost of the furniture in this room, lives and property have been saved. Smoke detectors and sprinkler systems buy time in the race against fire. But no matter what precautions you take, no matter how small the fire may appear, its progress is rapid, its power awesome. Escape must be your top priority. All the firefighters in the world cannot alter those few critical moments between the beginning of the fire and the time when escape becomes impossible. What happens in that time depends on you.
Okay, this is the firepower. I think you already know that the danger of fire from the courses. And this demonstration is just show you that how it will be different when you install smoke detector and residential sprinkler systems. So I have a brief summary of the video. So at 1 minute and 50 seconds, the smoke detector detects the fire, and it's a residential smoke detector. So usually in a big occupancy or a factory, they are mandatory to install auto alarm system. But in the residential homes, it's not required to install these systems. So the smoke alarm, the smoke detector can be installed with a single one. So this is something can improve the fire safety in normal homes, because it is not a system, it's just one single detector, and it can be installed easily without wiring. So 1 minute, 50 seconds, smoke detector detects the fire. And in 3 minutes, 260 degrees C in 90 centimeters above the floor. And 3 minutes, 41 seconds, flash over. And the fire penetrates the wooden door of the kitchen. It's just next to the living room. So the fire burns through the door. It's wood, it cannot resist the fire. It's the second floor, but the temperature is already hot enough to melt plastics. So the bedroom, the temperature inside master room never higher than 5 degrees C. While in the same level for the children's bedroom, 5 minutes after the first bang, no one can survive because if you have 1 or 2 breaths of a smoke, then you're probably heat or because of toxicity. And a closed door can buy you more time to survive and wait for rescue, but there's no guarantee because it depends on the material of your door. For example, if you install an iron or metal door, it can resist the fire longer. But if it's a plastic door, then it will melt very fast. Or it's a wooden door, maybe it can last longer. But you see, the flame also penetrates the wooden door in this case. So there's no guarantee for a closed door, but it can definitely have more time for you to wait for rescue. So the sprinkler experiment, in 2 minutes, the sprinkler activated, and it contained the fire in a small area. So in the previous test, the fire is almost spreading all over the homes. And why it wasn't? Because they stopped the test when it's flashed over in the living room. If they don't stop, the whole family house will be burned. So the sprinkler system successfully contained the fire in a small area, just like the couch, the small area of the couch is burned, but then the sprinkler system stopped, so extinguished the fire. And although one room is lost because there's a lot of water, so the furniture might be damaged, but other rooms are safe, and also lives are safe for installing sprinkler systems. So the risk of fire, we already know that the smoke, there's toxicity and visibility, hypoxia danger of that. We have heat, it can burn, it will increase the fire roof. There's a radiation heat and structure stability. It can weaken the structure. And how fast will fire roof? We don't need to see this anymore because we have saw this before. So it's an alpha T square fire. So for the fire, as the time increases, you will increases as the square. So for 100 seconds, for 10 seconds, it's 100 times. For 300 seconds, it's 90,000 times higher than the beginning. So one suggestion is that to close your doors when you sleep. And why? Let's see a small video.
That is insane.
In the event of a fire, who here thinks that you're safer sleeping with the doors open?
I feel like I was mom for so long because there was two doors that were open.
I'm not all that confident they would stop anything anyway.
Chris, how are you?
Great.
As you think about fire safety, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah, I'm not too concerned. I probably don't think about a fire for as much as I should, because I do forget to turn things off often.
Have you ever been to a fire? No.
We told you that you'd be coming here today for discussion, but what we didn't tell you is that there is also a demonstration that we want to show you. Sound good?
I want to introduce you to Steve, the director of the UL Firefighter Safety Research Institute. I'll let Steve take it away. Welcome. My job is to lead a team of people that study how fire grows and spreads so we can keep you safe. Here at the Delaware County Emergency Services Training Center, we essentially turn this place into a laboratory. We've got several structures around here that we build to simulate where you live. And one of those structures is right here behind me. What I want you to do is I want to take you inside here, and I want you to see how this looks like your home. And then once we get you outside, we're going to go ahead and recreate what would happen if there was a fire in this structure right here. Look pretty normal? Yeah, got some furnishings. You'll notice the difference down here as we walk down. This bedroom door will be closed, and the one at the end of the hall will be open. And what I want you to do is pay attention to comparison to the two of those and think about you and your family trying to survive this fire. All right, we just hit the button, we have ignition.
Oh boy, here she goes. Oh man, that is scary. It's scary, man. Look, we have smoke coming out over here.
So let's start the fire.
What a lot of people don't realize
In the
is
compartment.
that the furnishings
And
that
then
are homes today
one
are
room,
made of
the
synthetic
door,
materials.
one room,
So
and
the
that room
natural
was not, was open. And it
Just like
fire
our team through our research is, about 40 years ago, you had about 17 minutes to get out of your house after the smoke alarm sounded. Now you have less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, see, this is the things that we were. Whoa. Can you feel that? How can you survive that? Seriously, that is insane.
All right, go ahead, knock it down. All right, as you remember, closed door on the left, open door on the right. And you can see the dramatic difference between the two with the simple closed door. We want people to be as prepared as possible and understand the importance and how little time you have and what that simple barrier can provide to you and your family should you have a fire. I want you guys to throw some hard hats on and some safety glasses and at least poke your heads in the windows, or you can even walk in the hallway if you want.
Give me a word or phrase to describe what you just saw.
Anxiety. Frightening.
Terrifying.
I really didn't expect anything like this.
Now I ask you one last time, in the event of a fire, are you safer sleeping with the doors open or the doors closed?
Without a doubt, the door closed.
Definitely with the doors closed, and from now on, the doors will be shut at night.
Definitely closed.
Closed.
Definitely closed. And I'm surprised by it.
It's always great to be able to get it out. We can take our research and get it out into the community to change behavior with the message close before you dose. It feels great, and hopefully we can save lives.
If there was one bit of advice that you could give friends and family today, what would it be?
Close before you doze.
Close before you doze.
Close before you doze. Close before you doze.
Close before you doze. The key fire safety messages we want people to have are, one, have working smoke alarms at every level of your home, inside and outside every sleeping room. We want everybody to have an escape plan. Should you have a fire, you should know how to get out quickly. And if you can't get out quickly, having a closed door between you and where that fire is critical to your survival.
demonstration how a closed door can prevent you from the hassle of fire. So actually, the closed door one is more near than the one is open, but it's safer, much safer than the other one, because the closed door, it prevents the heat, it prevents the smoke from getting in. So during fire, close your doors and windows when you get out. And also the message is to tell you, close your doors when you sleep, because you might be aware of fire during your sleep. And it's much safer. You just close the door, and even if you're not aware of it, you are still safe for more time. So there's 900 degrees C difference for a closed door. So this one did not, this door was open, and this one was closed. So this is for Fahrenheit. So actually it's about maybe 25 degrees C. This maybe 600, 700 degrees C. So, oh sorry, it's degrees C, okay. All right. So a closed door can make a lot of difference for temperature increase. And you also see a comparison in a video. And closing a door can help to prevent the fire and smoke from getting inside. And it can buy you more time to wait for being rescued. But there's no guarantee, just as I said before, because it depends on the material and the installation of your door. Because usually in a compartmentation, there's a fireproof door. So, and it's installed properly, so there's no leakage between the door and the frame. But for normal doors, there are leakages. So you can see even the door is closed, still some smoke, is a leak from here. So this is no guarantee. But it definitely helps a lot. So when you're inside, when you're trapped in a fire, for these small leakages, use your clothes. You soak it with water if you have water. If not, it's okay. You use clothes or bed sheets, anything, to seal this gap and prevent the smoke from going in. And also, if some buildings, they might have central ventilation. So there's like a ventilation on your head. So also try to block those ventilations, because you want to have a good compartmentation. So prevent the smoke from getting in. So close every door. Actually, you should close every door when you get out. Like when you get out in your home, or even in your company or a big factory, you close every door, because one door can buy you time, and also it helps to contain a fire. So the fire needs to break through for many doors. Then maybe one door can help you, can give you time for 10 minutes. If you close 3 doors, it's 30 minutes. So close every door when you get out, but don't lock it, because there still might be people, they want to get out, or the firefighters want to get in. So just close it, but don't lock it. So why should we close the door? You already know that ventilation is very important for fire growth. So like when the fire starts to grow and we close the door, what happens? The fire will start to grow, and it might go down and die out. It might go down, but there's still gases, burning gases, and if someone opens the door, vehicle or backtrack, that's very dangerous. You already know that. So in this period, when it's growing, you close the door, you stop the ventilation, so it will go down. Just go down like this. So closing the door can help to slow down the fire growth. And one concern is that to close the door will keep you from hearing the alarm. And that's when you have an auto alarm system or you install residential detectors. And there's during the experiment, they also tested how a closed door will prevent you from hearing the alarm. So when door open, it's 95 decibel. When the door closed, it's 78. Not much. It's still okay. And the 78 decibel is about a vacuum cleaner. It's already noisy enough. I think most people will wake up or can hear this sound during the fire. So another suggestion is to install residential smoke alarm. Actually, I always talk about this. To install residential smoke alarms. Why? Because fire research show that flashover is very quick now, less than 4 minutes. So knowing that now it's a fire is very important. And install residential detectors correctly can detect fire efficiently. 60% of fire are residential fires because they are people using electricity and fire and other heating equipments. And 70% of victims are in residential fires. So most people die in homes. So, and residential homes, there's usually no automatic alarm systems. And it's very difficult for sleeping people to wake up during a fire because they don't know and they are not aware of fire. And how to install a residential detector? There are some instructions. So first, choose smoke alarms that have a label recognized pasty laboratory. And secondly, install smoke alarms inside each bedroom, outside each sleeping area, and on every level of the home. So like normal homes, maybe you can install one at each sleeping room and also one in the hallway. And install smoke alarms at least 3 meters from a cooking appliance because a cooking appliance might have a false alarm, cause the detector to sound, but there's no fire because of heat. And wall-mounted alarms should be installed 30 centimeters away from the ceiling. And why is that? I will explain why should be installed 30 centimeters away. And if you have a ceiling that's pitched, so install the alarm within 90 centimeters. So it should be like this, but not within the apex because there's a space that will stop the smoke because this is for the basics. So when there's a peak, when the smoke goes up, it goes to this region. The air here will stop it from going up because this space is very small. So for the floor, they cannot reach this part. So this small part for P. So you should install the detector in this region. And don't install smoke alarm near windows because they are full and they are fresh air. So it might not have a good during the fire because okay, there's smoke, but there's also wind blowing in. So it will make the smoke lighter, less, so it won't detect the fire or the smoke properly. And never paint it because painting it will make it harder to detect the fire. So that's some examples of how to install residential smoke detectors. So like here's the kitchen, living room, a hallway, a bedroom. So install at least one in the bedroom, and better to have one in the hallway and one in the kitchen because there might be fire, but you should be 3 meters away from the cooking apparatus. And if someone lives in the apartment, so only have one floor, so it might be like bedroom, and one is a living room or next to a kitchen. And some examples of installing residential smoke detectors. Like there's a bin here, so you should install it under the bin. And you should also install it, have inside this part, like this vacancy, because the smoke will fill the vacancy first, then you will reach the bin. And it should be like 60 centimeters, at least to the wall. Why? Because during the fire, when the smoke goes up, the wall there are some air there, so the floor will be blocked for the floor. If you have do some experiment, you will see that because like when the smoke goes up or it is propagating, due to there is already gas there, so the gas will be compressed, so you will be slower to reach the end because there's already air there. So you install the detectors 60 centimeters from the wall or from the bin. And if you install something that is on the wall, so be aware that it should be for 15 centimeters from the ceiling. Because the same thing, because if it goes up, there's already air there, so you will have block the flow path, but not more than 50 centimeters. Because if it is too low, then you will detect the smoke slower, because the smoke will fill the vacancy that goes down. So not too high, but also not too low. And if you have air conditioning, it should be like 1.5 meters at least, because the floor from there will blow out the smoke. So this is all for the detection, for proper installation of the detector. Okay, the second thing is that make an escape plan. Raymond also asked about this on the first day. How you can improve your safety in your home. One thing is to make an escape plan in your home. So for escape plan, you need to have 2 ways out for each room. So for example, this is an apartment. So if you have a home, like a house, two-story house, you should make it for 2 floors. So each floor have one plant. So for each room, okay, this is a bedroom 1. This is a bedroom. This is something here, study room. So for each room, you should have 2 ways out. So like in this room, you can either go this way. This is a balcony. So you can go to a balcony. Then you can escape from here. And also you can just go out and go to the front door. And why is it important to have 2 ways out? Because one way might be blocked because of fire. So you should always have a second escape. So in this room, you have 2 escape. In the study room, also 2-way escape. Okay, this is a bathroom. Maybe there's no window, so alright, you only have 1 way. So pray not to have fire there. And also this is the kitchen. So also maybe if this way is blocked, you can still have here or go from here, or you can go out, close the door, and wait for rescue. And also this one, the master bedroom, the same, 2 ways out, always 2 ways out. Try to make it. And the windows and doors should be open easily, like you should not lock regularly, like for the escape route. Or you should have a key. So make sure your home has installed enough smoke alarms. That would be better. And pick a meeting place outside. So if you go out, never go back because the fire grows so. So meet outside. Tell your family that we will meet in some place near but safe, like in a park or in a drugstore, in a 7-Eleven, any place that is far, a bit far, and be safe if your home catches fire. And practice is very important because even you have made this plan, but if you don't really practice it, like okay, now we have a drill. Then okay, tell your son, your daughter, your wife, your mother, we have drill now. So now we all know how we can escape. So pretend now we have a fire. Then what should we do? So it might take you 5 or 10 minutes to have practice. It's very easy. So let's go out. And how? We have 2 ways out. And we meet at a park or at a restaurant or anywhere. Like, okay, let's play again. Let's practice. So we will meet at a restaurant and we can eat later. It's good. You just like hang out. You escape your home. Actually, you are going out for fun, right? So it's fun. So practice your escape plan. So fire in mother home, we already see this. So we don't need to play this again. But I'll just have a forward. So in mother homes, the fire goes very fast. For the room that use the natural furniture 30 years ago, it goes much slower. So like here, you can see it's a rapid transition of the fire group for the modern homes. It's about 3 minutes and 40 seconds to reach flashover. And for the legacy room, the old-fashioned room, it's 29 minutes. So modern homes are bigger and more synthetic materials. So it burns faster and increase the temperatures higher during fire. And synthetic materials also produce more toxic gases. So 1970 is 17 minutes to escape. Okay, only 3 minutes. And airtight homes, for energy conservation might be worse. And also, install sprinkler systems can help to reduce the hazards of fire. So let's start the same fire here. Okay, we have saw that sprinkler can really help. So we will have a forward for this video. So you see, actually in a non-sprinkler home, the fire grow a bit faster than here. But let's start a fire at the same time. Why? Because every fire is different. You actually don't know what you will grow, but all the furniture inside are the same. It's just the difference is the sprinkler installed in this room. Okay, so now it's almost the same because the fire grows very fast. Now, okay, small layer in both rooms. And let's wait a little bit. And now the sprinkler is started. There are water droplets here. It's about 2 minutes and 50 seconds now from the start of fire. So the fire is becoming smaller and smaller, while in the other room, the fire is becoming bigger and much bigger now. So then, in the end, the fire is contained here, and the fire has reached flashover on the other room. Okay, you can see the difference. That is very, very obvious. Okay, so in non-sprinkler room, 3 minutes and 20 seconds, flash over. In a sprinkler room, 2 minutes and 32 seconds, the sprinkler activated. And in 3 minutes and 60 seconds, the fire was controlled. You can see the difference. One is controlled, one is flash over. So that's the function of sprinkler systems. It really helps. And what should you do when your clothes catches fire? Stop, drop, and roll. Why? Why stop? Because when your clothes catches fire, you still move, there's no help to extinguish the fire. It still grows. It might be worse. Why? Because when you walk, okay, more ventilation, more air is entraining you, so the fire might grow faster. So just stop. You drop to the ground. You drop to the ground and roll. Okay, stop where you are. Drop to the ground and cover your eyes and mouth with your hands. And why you do that? Because you don't want the flame to hazard your soft parts. Somewhere that is very fragile, like your eyes and your nose. Because if you breathe the hot gas, it might also hurt your breathing system. So stop right away and drop to the ground. Cover your eyes and nose and roll. Why you should roll? Because there are 3 elements for fire: fuel, heat, and oxygen. So when you start to roll, actually you are putting out fire by suffocation, because where it's touched on the ground, there's no air supply. So you should stop, drop, and roll over where is a fire, So maybe I will have a demonstration of this technique. So like, stop right away, cover your face, your nose, your eyes, and to the ground. Oops. And start to roll. Like this. Not just roll. So it will help to suffocate the fire. And that's the way you should do, because if you try to like put a cloth, maybe someone want to help you. Try to put a cloth on you. Yes, that also suffocate the fire, but usually the cloth will also catch fire, because in normal cases, if you're on fire, then usually it's some reason, and maybe you have a gasoline, or you will burn for some reason, and putting extra clothes is not a good idea, especially we wear clothes that is synthetic materials, and this is made from oils, so it might also melt and stick on your skin. So the best way is to roll, just to roll. Okay, and now we will talk about how to put out an oil fire. Oil fire are very, very difficult. For the reasons I will explain later. But I will show you how to fail to put out an oil fire. Why I will show you how to fail? Because people will do these things, and this thing will fail to put out an oil fire. So first, we use a carpet that we usually will have at our doorway. We think that is thick. Okay, you can cover the fire and extinguish the fire by suffocation. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Okay, the first thing is that when you cover the oil pan like this, first there's a hazard that the flame might go out like this, because you put a carpet there, and the gas entrain by the other directions. So the mixed gas is also unburned fire. So the flame might go like this way, that way. You don't know, but there's a risk. And the flame, you see, it's still not cover all the oil pan, still flame going down. Okay, you see, it stopped. But then you see again, very quick, it starts again. And why? Because the carpet, when you put out the carpet, it might soak, because oil is liquid, so it will soak the clothes. So when it soak, it will go down, right? It will soak like a towel. Then the liquid will evaporate again when it reaches the air. And when it reaches the air, it starts to burn again. Why? Because it has reached a high temperature. So let's see another example of fail. The carpet is not big enough. How about a blanket? Let's see what happens for a blanket. Okay. Well done, good job. The fire looks like extinguished. Okay, again, why? Because the coal is soft again. So how about using a pillow? You see, when you try to cover that, the flame attack him because you not expect where the flame will go. And it really doesn't help. The pillow is also burned. So these are ways to fail to put out an oil fire. And why I specifically talk about oil fire, because we cook in our homes, and this kind of fire can happen in our kitchen. So why they fail? The oil soaks the clothes, carpet. So once the oil soaks the clothes, the vapor reaches the air again and ignites by itself again. So before I talk about how to put out oil fire, I will let you know some things that relate to how to put out this fire. That is flash point, flame point, and auto ignition temperatures. Let's play this show video.
Every 2 minutes, pop that to see what temperature the gas is. Canola oil
So they are
inside.
trying to demonstrate
What we've got, canola oil in a pot.
how we will face during our cooking. Like these are firefighters, so they are prepared.
And just to demonstrate, got a lighter. I can put this in here.
Okay, you see, when the oil is just like not heating up, you want to light it up. Actually, it's very hot. It's not easy to light up.
I can put the flame surface directly on the oil. It's not going to catch on fire. Reason being, it's not hot enough. We're not giving off the amounts of flammable vapors that are required to heat that up. I can go straight down to the bottom surface of the grease. Still down. All right, starting to see some smoke coming off the top. What we were talking about, the concept being that smoke is the smoke will burn. But not yet. Start seeing the kind of smoky stuff coming off. Now that's what we're talking about when we're talking about the vaporization, where we're talking pyrolysis when dealing with the solid. It's called vaporization of the liquid. At this point, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting a lot closer.
So the oil keeps heating up. You see, it's very hard to ignite. All right, and you see, you just see that there's a flash of fire for the ignition source. That's the flash point. It will not have a sustained fire, but it can be ignited. That's a flash point.
That's our flash point.
You see, there's some flames
That's our
when
flash
you
point.
ignite it.
Watch, I'll get into it.
But just maybe less than 1 second. And we now have a sustained
Now
flame.
look,
We now have a
we got
sustained
active
flame.
flames. So
That's
we
a
already
flame
went for our
point,
flash
fire
or a
point.
flame point. This is our flame point. But if I put it out, cover it up, it stays out. We keep on heating this up though.
Okay, for the flame point. For the flash point is that you have an ignition source. Then you ignite it. It will have a flash of fire, less than 1 minute, one second, probably. And when you reach flame point or fire point, it will have a sustained flame. It's a higher temperature. And they keep adding heat.
That's our
Okay,
flame
now,
point. What do we want to keep doing at this point? That's our auto ignition.
So it's already reached auto ignition temperature.
But it's hot enough even without a direct flame.
So you see, they have closed the stove. So there's no heat anymore. But the oil has been heated up. So it reached its auto ignition temperature. So it will ignite by itself because it can have an evaporation. So there are unburnt gases from the surface of the oil. And when it reaches the air, it has, you see you have fuel and you have oxygen when you mix. And you also have heat because the heat for the temperature of oil is high enough already. So it will auto-ignite it. It will ignite itself because of its own temperature. So even the stove,
It'll catch on fire all by itself.
there's no fire underneath.
It's turbulent, moving around, trying to get going.
We open. Okay, let's play.
Araw ka.
The idea
Nang
is,
pusa na sa blang
it's gonna take a long time to cool off.
You see?
bisa
Again
na
and
lang
again.
sa dalam, no?
Just from the margin, everybody step back now, put it out.
Steve,
Where you're at. Out of my camera.
salong, sa salong. Ano to?
So they try to put out fire with extinguisher,
Splatter it out.
even for professional firefighters. They have like okay, how should we do now? Actually, just put on the lid and wait for it to cool down.
Kawan natin.
Just wait, it's okay. You just put out the lid, no oxygen, no fire.
Buibio. Buibio.
Okay, so we show you what is the flash point, the temperature where the vapor can produce a fluid will ignite by ignition source, but just a flash, less than 1 second. And for fire point or flame point, the temperature is higher than flash point, and you will have a sustained fire if ignited by an ignition source. And if we keep increasing the temperature, and you will auto-ignite. You will have auto-ignition temperature because the temperature in the liquid is already high enough to ignite by itself. Actually, that happens in most flammable liquids. So why oil fires are difficult to put out? Because the cooking oil has a very high flash point, maybe 300 to 330 degrees C. So when the firefighter tries to ignite the oil from the beginning, when it's not heat up, it's not possible. Even you have a lighter near the oil, because the oil needs to have 300 degrees C to have flash fire. And the auto ignition temperature is even higher, of course. So it's difficult to ignite. But once it's ignited, it's very difficult to put out, because now the oil is already at maybe 400 degrees C, and it's auto ignited. You don't need any extra heat sources to ignite the oil because it has sufficient heat in itself. So this is a table for like usually flammable liquids like ethanol. It has a flash point of 16 degrees C.
Auto ignition
And auto ignition temperature like 300 60. So that's a very big difference. Gasoline, flash point, minus 43. So it's very easy to ignite. And auto ignition temperature. So for gasoline, I can
Ang
heat up
diesel
for
greater.
280 degrees C. It will just burn by itself.
Isang diesel.
Okay. So but for the oil, cooking oil, it's like
Ay, mas dasig madukto ng
330
gasolina kaya
degrees C.
di ba?
So compared to this
Spark.
ethanol, gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, kerosene, cooking oil, it's very hard to ignite. You see, these are like just heat it a little bit, then you will ignite. Maybe this is already hard because it's higher than ambient temperature. But for cooking oil, it's 300 degrees C. And how about auto ignition temperature? Yes, it's also lower than cooking oil. So once the cooking oil has reached its auto ignition temperature, it's very difficult to put out. And rules to put out an oil fire. First, if a pan of hot oil catches on fire, turn off the stove. Stop providing extra heat. 2, have a leak. So, not to panic and act quickly. Put on the lid. Put on the lid. It can be easy to extinguish. Just put on the lid. Cover it. No oxygen in. And wait for cool. Because it takes some time to cool down the oil. Right? You need to wait. Don't just open it. When open it, it will burn again, like just the video showed. You will just ignite by itself. So put on the lid, wait. Maybe for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, it's okay. It's much better to be safe. Just wait. You don't need to do extra things.
Why niya tagol sa mga RAM niya kaya sa memory.
Never
kaya
pour
save ko
water.
sa YouTube.
Never
Ano yun na?
on an oil fire.
Sa YouTube.
Water will not put out a grease fire. Why? Because the water is heavier than oil. If you put water on the oil pan, it will just sink to the bottom. And what is worse, it will splash because the water will become water vapor. Because the oil pan is already 400 degrees C, and the boiling temperature for water is 100 degrees C, so it will be heated up very quickly and become water vapor gas, and it will splash the oil pan. So this is how it looks like. So this is water only. So when it reaches 100 degrees C, there are already production of the water vapor. So you see the bubbles. You see the bubbles going up, right? Then there are steam, and this is the oil pan. When there is the oil and the water, the oil will just flow up and burn on the top. Also, it will heat up the water. So the water, when it reaches 100 degrees C, there will be very fast evaporation. And what happens? It splashes. The water goes up so fast. The water vapor goes up so fast, so the oil splash out. Splash out. So why is it's so dangerous to put out oil fire by water? Because it splashes. And the splashed oil will have more places to catch on fire. So don't try to put out oil fire by putting water. That will make things worse. And let's see a video of boil over. Actually, this is the principle of how boil over happens. You try to extinguish the oil fire by putting water and make things worse.
At one point, even a firefighter got a
a sandwich and a soda, and I was getting ready to pack my equipment. I thought,
But this demonstration is much, much bigger because it's oil tank. But the principles are the same.
you know, it's time for me to go.
Then an ominous rumble in the ground signals trouble in the air.
I looked up and I said, oh my God.
A Texas-sized explosion detonates in the desert. 210,000 gallons of crude has erupted into an 1,800-degree fireball that has people running for their lives.
It was like a nuclear bomb was going on.
David keeps his camera rolling, even as he runs for his life.
This is it.
Alay ng mga kabiyanan, makita natin. Kalayo.
In the midst of the madness, David radios his editor back at the TV station.
Kasi black ako siya.
I had blisters the size of lemons on my arm and on my head, and I needed to be treated pretty quick. But at the same time, I looked back and I saw how worse those other people were. People were walking around with water and ice everywhere.
What happened is called a boilover explosion. Why it happened is a bit more complicated.
Water is not your friend in a crude oil tank pile.
Fire protection specialist Gordon Lohmeyer is an expert on oil fires.
When your crude oil is on fire, it heats up the tank. A heat wave travels to the bottom of the tank 1 foot per hour until it reaches the water layer to a steam phase.
Oil na, oil.
It expands 1,700 times to 1.
And that's enough to set off this. Look closely and you can actually see the steam expanding into flames. Once the temperature reaches 212 degrees, it's only a matter of time before the steam ignites an explosion. Obviously, you need water to put out a fire. So how could this have been avoided?
Every gallon of water that you put into that tank needs to be drained out.
Most likely, this wouldn't have happened if a water release valve at the bottom of the tank had been fully opened.
It eventually catches up with you when you put enough water in that tank.
And when it comes to fighting oil fires, the clock is ticking.
The longer the fire rages, the hotter the
Okay. So this is a big demonstration of how you put water on a oil tank. Just that is the oil tank. So now we know it's very dangerous to try to put out oil fire by water. So it's already 10:38 now. I think we can have a short break, and after that, I will show you how to put out an oil fire safely. So let's have another session, maybe at 10:50. So let's have a break.
Pwede na ma-post ba yun? Pwede na ma-post ba yun? Post ko na lang. Hindi ma-post ba? Basta. May interview na kasi mo. Anong imamambal sa sa basic firefighting and self-preservation skills sa schooling?
For me, this is a very informative lecture for us firefighters. So we must watch all your live videos to improve our firefighting skills.
So,
Okay naman.
oh. Atong subong nga interviewon si Bupi.
Pas.
Pas. Malati. Anong pas?
Pas technique.
Pas technique. Anong pas technique gani sir?
Pull, aim, squeeze, kick, sweep. Pas.
So anong mga activities naton subong adlaw?
Today, there is ang schedule is a public safety lecture.
Yes.
Safety. So, a little bit of chemistry. Chemistry. Put out grease fire. Put out how to put out when your clothes catch fire. Then flash point, fire point, auto ignition, and modern fire risks. Lecture sa 3 minutes, no? Time period sa pagsunog sa kalayo. Then later on this morning, discuss about sa modern fire technologies.
Sa modern fire technologies.
Mga tangke di gira ko.
Mensahe sa aton nga mga kapdanan nga mga bombero nga
Tawid ko mo sa aton nga sa live video sa ni Adipsay. Kay masyado naging informative. Ano gino kag sa puso nyo gid ang mga ginalecture. Okay, ini tanan makabulig sa inyo, no? Hindi lang sa inyo trabaho, kundi sa inyo gid pamilya. Kamo maging safe pag-abot sa kalayo.
Ano
yung political views, sir? Well.
So, nag-break kita 10 minutes bago mag-resume ang aton lecture about the public safety. Pwede na ma-post?
Marami kong ka-training kay libreng pagkaon. Kani kung may mga training sa inyong lugar, sign up na kamo. Isa sa mga gasto ka, 50. Mahaw, 50. Panaga, 50. So, nakasave kayo 150 sa kadlaw. So, kung mag 5 days ang mga isa kalibo eh. Isa kalibo mo masin.
May matanan ka pa? Muna ito yung mga visit.
Isa. First, we have... Kung buhay nasunod ka ba, siya makapataywan ka pa, no?
Oo.
Kasi petisyonan ka ba sa ilang government? Dalong ka dito.
Ang ari sa aton right side, ang aton Taiwan firefighters na si Hamsut. Tapos si mga
Hamsut. Kaya ang representative
naka-white,
Ming.
si Ming.
Yao Ming.
Ang naka-white. Yao Ming. Tapos ang representative, the ambassador representative
Si Bang.
of the Taiwan to the Philippines,
Si Bang.
si Sir Bang. Nabudlayan ta mag-pronounce ang ilang mga pangalan.
Or one.
Kada ang DILG representative from NCR, si Sir D. Asis. Ay, paano ni ma-post ba? Wala ya puso?